Hello, and welcome to the Underpaid Gamers Podcast. My name is Tony. I'm with my friend and colleague, Justin.
Hello.
We just got back from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, we did.
And this intro is probably the only spoiler-free part of this episode.
That's true. So if you don't want spoilers, then go watch the movie and come back.
That's true.
Theme song.
The Underpaid Gamers is the official podcast of underpaidgamerspodcast.com. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram by searching Underpaid Gamers.
That's true.
You can find us on Twitter at UPGamersPodcast. Email us at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, other podcast services. I think that's everything. I nailed it.
You did crush it.
That time. Because I'm all riled up.
You are riled up. Why are you riled up, Tony?
Well, we just watched the Defenders trailer again. And as I mentioned to you off air, I've seen it 3 times now.
Once in English.
Once in English, 2 times in English, and once in some more language I do not know.
Again, why did you watch it in another language?
Because it came out and I saw it on Twitter. And it was like 2 minutes after it came out. So I'm like, oh, this must be a leak. I better watch it before it gets taken down. And it was in like Slovakian or something.
Oh, nice.
And it had English subtitles. I'm like, all right, that looks pretty cool. So Iron Fist is back. So is Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
I didn't see any Hogarth, unfortunately. She's awesome. I don't remember the girl's name from Luke Cage, the detective, the woman detective.
I don't remember her name.
I don't remember her name.
It's been a long time since we watched Luke Cage.
That's true. Who else is back? Stick, Elektra, Sigourney Weaver.
Yep.
You said she's here for the first time. The Hand Clan.
Probably.
What else? So, my favorite part of the scene of the trailer is just when Iron Fist gets his face punched in by Luke Cage.
That's pretty cool.
If that was just the whole trailer, I'd be on board. Like, all right.
If it was just like Daredevil walking in being like, don't talk anymore, I'm your lawyer, and then switches to Iron Fist punching Luke Cage, I'd be interested. That'd pique my interest.
I think Jessica Jones might be my favorite character from this group.
Yeah? Why?
I don't know. I just like her the most. It's obviously not Danny Rand or Iron Fist, as we've discussed in our Iron Fist review. So titled, Should You Watch Iron Fist?
Yes.
The conclusion was, if you have 12 hours, go ahead and watch it.
But don't get your hopes too high.
Yeah, so I think he's the worst. And then Luke Cage, while I do like Luke Cage, his series was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But Luke Cage the character and Luke Cage the actor, Michael Michael C. He's real cool. I like him. Jessica Jones is good, and then Daredevil is good as well.
True.
He's also, as I mentioned, because you see them fighting in a hallway, and of course everyone's like, oh my gosh, there's another hallway fight scene, this is so awesome! I'm like, take a step back. And I am a big proponent for the hallway fight scene in Daredevil Season 1. Not because it's in a hallway, Justin.
Why, Tony? Why?
Because it's all one cut, and it's awesome. It's very well choreographed. But then ever since then, there's been a fight in a hallway, and everyone's always like, this hallway scene is so awesome. Like, shut up. It's not because it's in a hallway that it's awesome.
So really, there's only one thing I want out of the Defenders.
You want to add to the Defenders?
There's only one thing I want and or could have added to the trailer to make me happy.
What's that? A release date?
Foggy Nelson!
Oh, yeah?
He's my favorite.
Foggy Nelson?
Foggy.
What is he doing these days?
Didn't he go off and start his own firm because he got mad?
No, I can't remember. I don't think he started his own firm. I think he went back to his, to Hogarth's firm.
Oh, actually. Yeah.
They're teaming up.
Gotcha.
What else? Was there a release date? I don't think there was.
Let me see if I still have it up. Boop. That's not it. No, I don't have it up.
Doesn't matter. It'll come out when it comes out. We don't need to watch it again.
That's true.
We don't need to look it up at all.
Okay. So
click, type, click.
I had hit like 3 buttons. That's the sound I made.
Defenders.
The Defenders is coming out, and if you've liked them,
Marvel, Netflix,
all that,
comic books.
If you like that stuff, you'll like this probably. If you're sick of superheroes, don't watch it.
But no.
Some people are literally so done with superheroes.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like,
thanks, DC. Haha, got him. Zing.
I mean, it's just as much Marvel's fart. It's just
Fart.
Yep. It's a Marvel's fart.
So, from someone that has insider knowledge, as in you worked at a movie theater.
Yes.
Why?
I was inside the movie industry for some years.
Why? Who determines what previews are before a movie? Do you know? Is it the theater and their connections, or is it the movie itself?
I think
the
it's
producer behind the movie.
I think it's the corporation. So not like the individual theater.
The corporation that owns a theater is what you're saying?
Yeah, and I think it has to. I don't think it's independent of the movie. I think the movie influences it because like all we saw were Disney things in the trailer.
Well, except for Wonder Woman,
which is Wonder Woman,
a direct competition to Marvel.
Sure,
that's why I bring it up. Like, who decides this? Because I don't think Marvel would do that. I don't think they'd be like, go see Wonder Woman.
Sure.
I mean, they might.
I think it's up to the corporation or the business that puts on the movies to decide what previews they want to show.
That owns the theater, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Because that's directly impacts the theater. What movies are shown, because that's where all the movies get watched at, is at the theater.
That's true.
And then they buy concessions. That's where they make all their money.
That is where movie theaters make their money.
But
the vast majority of the ticket does not go to the profit of the movie theater.
But you're getting them back. One refill of popcorn at a time.
Yeah. Yep.
Which happens
That's it.
Every time you go to a theater.
Just about.
It used to be you get a popcorn and then on your way out you get another one.
That's true.
I was going to get a drink.
I also did that this time.
Yes. Then a lot of times.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Your popcorn will sit around your house for a couple of days and I'll come over and eat it.
And I'll just like munch on it for the rest of the week.
Yeah. Still popcorn is...
Not bad. No.
If popcorn is only good if it's hot or if it's stale. If it's like lukewarm or kind of like soggy from butter, you're like, no thanks. But that popcorn they used to keep in all those big old black trash bags, eat those for days.
Yeah, dude.
They're so good.
That's for sure. That's like the best benefit of working at a movie theater.
Popcorn?
Yeah, it was the fact that I could have popcorn.
Do you have nachos and cheese at your popcorn? At your theater?
Yeah.
Did you ever put the cheese on your popcorn?
No, I never did that. What? I'm not a big cheesy popcorn person.
Gosh.
Especially nacho cheese, I really just don't like nacho cheese that much.
You don't like spicy stuff, do you?
No.
That must be it.
Not super spicy stuff. I mean, I like mildly spicy. I like a little heat, but I don't like it to overwhelm everything else. If that makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense. So a medium salsa is like too hot for you?
No, I get medium. That's about as high as I go.
Not to be like... I have never seen anything hotter in stores than medium. There's mild, there's medium, and like Tostitos. Mm-hmm. It goes mild, medium. I've never seen a hot Tostitos.
You haven't?
No.
I'll have to take a picture next time I see one.
You have to. Or someone tweet at us.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen it. I always go in, and it's always mild or medium. I'm like, I don't know which one is hotter. Because mild and medium are both kind of middle of the road.
That's true.
And then I've never seen a hot Tostitos salsa, like in a Kroger. I'll have to look. I'm sure in the salsa aisle, there was hot salsa.
Somewhere in there.
But they always sell the
true.
Tostitos in the chip aisle. That's where I go for my salsa. Because you also need chips, obviously.
Obviously you need chips.
Unless you make it enchiladas, which case you don't need chips.
That's true. Or do you?
I mean, you gotta soak up all the slop somehow.
That's true.
Chips. Now let's have a debate, Justin.
About what?
What kind of chips are best? Rounds or scoops? This is from our real life. We had this conversation the other day.
Personally, I prefer rounds.
Me too.
Though
we decided it's better.
I mean, I didn't go with it last time because of the situation. There are situations where scoops are better.
We had to make a decision recently between which chip was more efficient for 3 bowls of salsa, the scoops or the rounds.
And by bowls, he means the containers that came in.
Then we put in bowls.
We didn't put them in bowls.
Yes, we did.
We scooped it out.
They were put in bowls later. I don't know.
Maybe I don't remember. They were hot, and then you scooped it onto your plate, unless you dipped straight in.
And even for plate scooping, the scoops are inadequate.
That's true
because they have the ridges, and all the salsa goes between the ridges. You don't get it on your chip. My argument to go further into this because I want to is that a scoop is inadequate. Because when you scoop it, you get too much salsa. Well, okay. A scoop is inadequate. Let me preface this. A scoop is inadequate when you're sharing salsa with somebody else. Because when you scoop it, you get too much salsa on the scoop. And there's not enough left over for somebody else in the long run. Essentially, you'll run out of salsa before you run out of chips.
So you don't like the salsa to chip ratio that scoops provide.
In a crowded setting. If I'm by myself, sure, that's fine.
Okay.
I also don't like to scoop in general when if I have salsa and chips. Like if it's in the container, I'll dip my salsa so it gets on both sides. But that way I don't get too much on there. So there's more for later.
Interesting.
So my secret tricks to you, listener.
If you wanted it.
Oh, you got it.
Or if you didn't.
You got it.
So...
What are we talking about?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Lead me somewhere before I start talking about chips.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
All right.
We literally just came from the theater.
Yes, if you listen hard, you can hear the credits.
You're not listening hard enough.
That's right. Also, does anybody know what Marvel music sounds like? No, they don't.
I was like humming it the whole way back, and it's literally the same music in every single Marvel movie.
That's true.
That's not it. Man, it literally did sound just like the Avengers soundtrack, though. I kept thinking that. Nope.
That's Back to the Future.
That is Back to the Future.
Much better musically.
Yeah.
But Guardians always has its own music as
like throwbacks to the 80s and
century,
the 70s.
Or period music is what I'm trying to say, as well as the standard Marvel orchestra.
Which, they put some of it in there, but I still don't think they beat the first movie's musical choices. I just I don't know.
Some of them and from this one I recognize, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. The first one I'm like, I know that song, I know that song, I know that song. Mm-hmm. Some of these I'm like, ooh.
That's a little obscure.
Boo. But now, as we said, spoilers.
Yeah.
Peter Quill has a Zune.
Yeah, so that happened.
With 300 songs.
That made me laugh so hard. So many pop culture references in that whole thing. Really just that, though.
Really just that.
And the songs themselves are.
So, James Gunn.
And David Hasselhoff.
That was true, he was there. James Gunn, the director of Guardians 1 and 2.
That's true.
Has said that he'll be at least on the project for Guardians 3. And there's going to be a fourth one. But he's also said that in Marvel Stage 4, which is where we're going next, Stage 3 ends with Infinity War, I believe.
Okay.
So Stage 4 will be more space-themed for the whole Marvel cast.
Really?
Yes. He also has said that he would like to experiment with Guardians, and by the third or fourth movie, have a completely different team from what we have now.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
So don't get too attached to anybody.
I like them all, though.
Really? How do you feel about Nebula? Because I felt like she did not do anything in this movie. And I didn't like her in the first movie, although I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe I am wrong. But in this movie, Nebula, blue-faced robot, didn't do anything.
Not really.
And
I mean, she provided some action in, the slow parts of the movie.
She was just kind of there. And then, I don't know her purpose.
And then she just came across the other way. I don't know. Maybe she does something cooler down the line. Like Smeagol in Lord of the Rings.
Maybe.
Like Gollum, he starts out being like, why is this a character? And then at the end, falls into the lava.
What a letdown. Hey?
Really tripped over himself, didn't he?
Did he?
Nah, I think he got pushed. No, he did, because he was trying to grab the ring, and then he grabs it, but he loses balance and falls in.
I thought he grabbed it when he was falling through.
Maybe he did. Either way.
Would you rather fight a volcano or a Balrog?
They're the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
It's a volcano with legs.
So which one would you rather fight?
Probably the Balrog, because it'd be
really?
Cool. Dude, yeah.
I'd rather the volcano and just leave. Alright, I'm not going to fight you, I'm done.
That's not fighting. You said fight. Leaving is not fighting.
I guess if you fight the Balrog, you just die faster.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, it's over.
Yep. Unless I was Gandalf, then it'd be cool.
And you had unlimited free fall distance and time.
That's true. Again, Marvel music can't remember, but Lord of the Rings can.
Lord of the Rings is so good. That's because they don't put a lot of effort into their music.
They really don't. They put a lot of effort into trying to make us laugh.
Yeah, Guardians.
There was just a joke. If you timed it, probably every 45 seconds there was a joke.
No. Maybe on average.
On average, dude. They were joke, 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 joke. couple like non-jokey parts, but even then, there was always like ended in some sort of joke.
What do you think of Ego? Kurt Russell, his father, Peter Quill's father.
Yeah,
also,
we're in the spoiler section.
We have announced
I guess we put that in the beginning. So.
Before you answer that one, I want to point out that at least the first trailer of Guardians, they only showed clips from like the first half hour of the movie.
That's true, which I appreciate.
Not a lot of spoilers in the trailer. If they had a second trailer, I don't think I watched it. Maybe I did. Anyway, what do you think of Ego?
On Kurt Russell.
Ego, the living planet, as he is known.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was... he portrayed Peter Quill's father fine, like, well. Like, I thought they had chemistry, like, at the beginning.
What do you think of the character Ego, not of Kurt Russell's acting? Is what I'm trying to get at.
I thought he was very similar to Quill, except for when he turned evil and was manipulative. Turned out to be really manipulative. Really manipulative of Quill. So I thought he was an okay villain.
Do you think Chris Pratt looks older in this movie than Guardians 1?
Yeah.
I think he looks older too.
I think so.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and I don't know. With the last movie, I feel like it felt more... The enemy felt more, like, real. This one was just so, like, well, not cerebral, but he's a celestial, right? Like, he's not an actual form. And then he gets the powers of his father, and they have, like, a power fight. I don't know.
Power fight!
First off, we didn't get to see a whole lot of him doing his power stuff because he was, like, sleeping for half the movie. Half the end, at least, because the little mantis lady. Yeah, Ego was.
Well, they had to fight off the Sovereign.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, I guess he did do enough. I don't know. I don't really have strong feelings that he's a great villain, or that he's a poor villain. I thought he was okay.
I'm interested to see what repercussions his little planet flowers have. Because that sucked up, like, a good portion of that city on Earth.
That's true.
In Missouri.
I was waiting for a cameo from a Marvel hero with that.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just, like, they're in a town, and this big thing pops out, and then by the second time we see it, there's, like, cops around it, so I kind of expected, like...
Iron Man to be there.
Iron Man, or literally anybody from the Marvel Universe to be there, being, like, trying to save people, or trying to help, or trying to investigate.
I don't think about that at all.
I expected that. Or the Stan Lee scene there, too, but that didn't happen.
I expected the Stan Lee scene to happen there, but Stan Lee had 2 other cameos instead.
He did.
They gotta get him while he's still can do cameos.
That's true. While he's still kicking.
While he's still alive.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I felt like the Chitauri... Not the Chitauri.
Chitauri is from Avengers.
Is from Avengers.
The first one.
The second. The guy, I can't remember the guy's name.
What are you talking about?
Thanos' dude who has the Infinity Gem.
Yeah, in Guardians 1?
Yeah.
Purple guy?
He was, like, way scarier than, not Jeff Bridges, Kurt Russell was.
Yeah, but Ego
is way more powerful.
His Walkman.
That's true.
How much more emotional can you get?
It got pretty emotional. Like, when he said he put a tumor in his mom's brain, I was like, oh, that's it. It's over now.
How much, so he showed Peter Quill, like, the universe, and, like, he shared his knowledge with him.
Sure.
How much do you think that's going to come into play later?
0%.
You don't think it's going to come back?
I don't think they will. They might make one reference to it, and that's it. I really don't expect it to be much.
Peter Quill is part celestial, so he should be invulnerable.
Well, no, because he said as long as the light still exists on this planet, and they destroyed the planet, so... Because that's like what he was saying at the end. He's like, you're a god, and if you kill me, then you won't be a god anymore. You'll just be human.
No.
He's like, there's nothing wrong with that.
See, I took that as more of a metaphorical as opposed to a literal. So he's like, you're a god, and if you kill me, you won't be part of me anymore. You'll only be human because you'll fall to your human hopes and dreams. And Peter's like, well, I like my human friends. Well, I like being a human because I have friends as opposed to being a god where I'm by myself, so I'm going to knock you out. I didn't think that pertained to his powers.
Well, he references directly at the beginning multiple times when he's like showing him how to do it and having him focus. He's like, as long as this planet and the light here exists, you can do this. That's what, like, he literally says that.
Yeah, I know.
And you still think that's figurative?
No, I feel like that's a reference directly to Ego and not necessarily Peter. Because...
So you don't... So Peter derives his power from Ego. And if Ego's gone, he doesn't have any power.
I don't think that's true.
I 100% think that's true.
Why?
Because exactly what he said.
Well, his mom's gone. How come he's still human?
Because a human is mortal, and he's immortal when he's part of his father from the freaking whatever. I don't know how to explain it. It's Marvel Universe. But he literally says, if you kill me, you lose your power. And then earlier he says, he literally says, as long as this planet
I don't think he
exists.
Said, literally, if you kill me, you lose your power.
That's almost word for word what he said.
So not literally.
Almost word for word.
Figuratively.
I don't know
paraphrasing.
I don't know if you can take it metaphorically, like you're trying to say. I mean,
I don't think he was talking literally.
So you think he's immortal and can use those powers from now on?
I don't know if he'll use the powers, but I don't know if the light
could he?
having the probably, maybe.
No.
He said
no way.
Why not? I don't think Ego had all those powers when he first started. When he started out as a brain in space, he had to grow the planet, and then all that. He said it took millions and millions of years. Peter Quill just now found out about this. I don't understand why Peter Quill's... Okay, let's use a Dragon Ball Z reference.
Okay.
So Gohan is just as strong as Goku, and Goku's dead literally 75% of the series.
That's true.
Just because Goku's dead doesn't mean Gohan loses his power.
But
that's not how genetics work.
Yeah, but he's a celestial. He's like a god. It doesn't matter. It's not like he follows...
Goku's a god.
Mortality.
Super Saiyan god.
Oh, okay. So now he is, but not then. He wasn't.
The gods are forever.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you're interpreting it this way. I'm pretty sure that you're interpreting this completely incorrectly. Incorrectly, that's what I said.
Interesting.
I mean, I literally don't know how you could have gotten that from what we've seen.
I just told you. He says that if you destroy this, I thought he meant metaphorically. If you destroy this, you will no longer be like me. You'll be like them because you'll be fighting for them, as opposed to ruling the galaxy with me.
And do you not remember that first part when he says you could derive your power from this planet?
Ego said a lot of the time, I derive my power from this planet. I cannot live without this planet.
Right.
I have to come back as his human projection. He has to come back every once in a while to regenerate, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then that's why he was putting all those planet flowers everywhere, so he'd have more light places.
But you don't remember him telling that to Quill.
I just said he did.
No, like referencing Quill using the power.
No.
You don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
That happened.
What did he say? Paraphrase it for me, because I know literal is hard for you.
I can't quote a movie the first time I see it, except for small things like... I about fell over that thing down there.
That is not a quote from the movie.
That is not one. Can I quote anything from this movie? I am Groot. I can quote that. Either way, he says,
but
as long as you're with... As long as this planet exists, you have this power. Something like that.
I don't remember him saying that.
Okay.
I'll defer to the audience for that one specific point. But also, to pass that, maybe we'll put a pin in it and come back to it.
Perhaps.
He put those flowers on a whole bunch of other planets. And those planets didn't explode when his planet exploded. Because one of those was on Earth. And if Earth exploded, some stuff was about to go down.
True.
So there could be remnants of that farther anywhere. He said he put them on a lot of planets.
That's true. Like all of them.
On all of them,
just
maybe.
About, probably.
Yeah. So just because the one power source from that one planet doesn't mean there's no more power sources anywhere.
Well, the power source was Ego. Ego is dead. It'll be that...
But he's not the only Celestial. Ego is not.
Okay.
Let's find out. Let's put a pin in this and come back next Marvel movie, see what happens. Next time
we can just watch it one more time and you'll be like, oh yeah, that did happen. Justin was right.
All right, let's watch it one more time. After we watch it again, we'll come back to this conversation.
Okay.
And I'll have stronger or weaker opinions about what I just watched. Okay. Let's talk about Groot.
Okay.
Groot I liked a lot in the first movie.
Yeah, me too.
And then when he became Baby Groot, everyone's like, he's so cute. And for the years after, everyone's like, he's so cute, he's so cute. This one, I think there was cuteness overload. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm like, Groot obviously can't do much. He's still part of the team, I guess, and he does some things. But a lot of it was just like him running around being a baby and stuff. I'm like, that's enough.
Yeah, I think they did lean on that a little too heavy. The intro was funny. The way they used him.
The intro I was watching, and I'm like, this is almost beat for beat, which would be a great video game intro.
Yeah. Well, and I thought, too, that, like, just anytime Groot was doing anything, I was like, this to me feels... Well, especially when they were on the Ravager ship. Like, I was like, this is just like a video game. Like, go find this. And then you're like this little dude with all these small... Like, these huge guys around you. You have to sneak around. I was like, this feels exactly like a video game.
So when I first saw the intro... Mm-hmm. Which we just referenced when they're fighting the tentacle beast.
Yes.
I got so upset. Not angry, maybe a form of anger, maybe a form of sadness.
Yeah.
Again, that Guardians got wasted with Telltale Games. And not a Ratchet and Clank game. Like I've been saying. Because they go to all these different planets. And they have all these so colorful and everything.
Yeah, sure.
You can relate that directly to Ratchet and Clank 2016.
Exactly, yeah.
And be like, would that not be a great...
Yeah.
Guardians game?
It would be great, and you could like switch characters, and they had different skills and abilities for different things.
And there's even a scene where Rocket the raccoon, shot a hole through a door, and you looked at him through the hole in the door, and it like kind of like the James Bond thing. There's a scene in Ratchet and Clank that's very similar to that. And I'm like, it will be. And I mean, he's a raccoon, so there's obviously parallels there to the Lombaxes. But I'm like, I'm so upset that Guardians got wasted on Telltale. A game that you can't
really. I mean, you make choices for the story, but
you're like not an active participant. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Ratchet, like an adventure game like Ratchet and Clank would be great.
There's also a scene at the very end where Gamora and Nebula were jumping off, and all the pillars were coming up, and he said, "Oh, how convenient that there's one right there." And I didn't want to lean over and say this to you, but I said, "This is where you die."
It's true. I'm absolutely terrible at platforming. That's true.
And I laughed very hard to myself.
It's like the first Vault, or the
Vault
first
of Glass.
Vault of Glass in Destiny. Raid. Man, that part I hated so much. Least favorite part.
What else happened in this movie? We want to talk more about Groot? What do you think? So Groot in the comics, what I hear, is when Groot is older, as in the first movie, he can only say, "I am Groot." When he is younger... Well, the reason he can only say "I am Groot" when he's older is because his vocal cords harden, and he can only say those 3 words. When he's younger, they are more loose and more vibrant.
Okay.
And he can say more. This one, obviously, he only said "I am Groot."
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed on that.
But, I mean, I thought it was fine. I guess, but I didn't know that happened in the comics, so I didn't expect it.
I mean, he didn't necessarily need to say something, but I think they could have changed up some... I mean, I guess maybe just giving him a baby verse would have enhanced the cute factor. And I can hear a lot of... Like, if he said something, a lot of people in the audience would be like, "Oh, Groot!" But maybe it's just easier to write dialogue for something that just says one thing.
It's true. I did like how everyone kept interpreting him for everybody. That was pretty funny.
I like him as a teenager.
Yeah, that was a cool like end credit scene. Dang, I felt so sad about Yondu.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Michael Rooker, I believe.
Yeah, from Walking Dead.
Who was he in Walking Dead?
He was not Daryl's brother.
Daryl's brother, you're right.
Man, I just I got really choked up at the end.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I liked his character.
What did
I don't know.
Yondu do to win back the love of the Ravagers?
I think it was him sacrificing himself for Peter.
I don't know why that would have such an impact on the Ravagers, who seem to be people that ravage for a living.
That's true. I mean, he broke the rule, right? Like he broke one of the rules. We don't deal with kids. Like you don't deal.
Is that the rule that he broke?
I think that's what Sylvester Stallone said at the beginning, which is referenced later by Ego when he was like, "Well, I compensated him enough."
Yeah.
To break the code. And so I think maybe sacrificing himself for one of the kids that he
it
was enough to make his his repentance from his sins against the code or something. I don't know. But I got really choked up and I was like, I couldn't help it. I was like,
I was surprised.
I didn't cry, died. But
you don't see a lot of deaths in Marvel
don't
universe anymore.
Yeah. No, I felt pretty bad, and it was also fitting that he died that way, since all his loyal crew died that way.
Yeah.
I thought
that was a good parallel too.
Yeah.
Except for the guy that... See, it's already starting, right? The guy at the very end that was on his crew that helped him break out of prison.
Sure.
That now has a whistle stick.
Yep.
That part of the crew is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Like James Gunn has said.
It's true. And you said something interesting. One of the end credit scenes is Sylvester Stallone and a bunch of other Ravagers.
Yeah.
Like assembling as a team. And you said like the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
There might be. I don't know what they are. I'm sure
we have no
their
idea.
own thing.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure somebody knows. And I'm sure if I spent 5 minutes to look it up, I would know too. But as James Gunn has said, they're trying to change things. And we had a discussion about whether you could lock down Sylvester Stallone for a couple movies.
And at first we were like, probably not. But then we looked at his history.
And like, well, Rambo,
Rocky.
you got the Expendables.
That's true. He's in all of those.
Yeah.
I think he just likes money, so he's going to do whatever gets him money.
I don't know if I'd watch, if I would enjoy a Guardians of the Galaxy with him as the lead. He might just be a side team.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just like a space cadet team. Like he shows up every once in a while to save the day. Maybe a minor character like Sammy L. Jackson.
Oh, yeah, sure. Probably.
What do you think about Gamora? I found out between Guardians 1 and Guardians 2 that Gamora herself is supposed to be like the deadliest woman in the universe. Like that's her title. That's why everyone's afraid of her, and that's why she's so good at her job.
Okay.
And I don't think that's portrayed very well in either one of these movies.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either. I mean...
It took me by surprise when I heard that. I'm like, oh, wow, she's supposed to be super
deadliest
good.
in the universe?
In the universe.
That's
like
a pretty strong statement.
And instead, she's just kind of like, better than average.
She's definitely good, but...
Who would win, her or Black Widow? Because I feel like
that's like a fair fight.
Yeah, and she should win hands down, right? I guess she's stronger. She lifted up that big old gun.
That's true, she did. We didn't... I guess we don't get a lot of opportunities to see how strong she is in this movie or the last one. We just saw a lot of fight. Like, except for that gun pickup, like, what did she do to show how strong she was?
Did she really... Most of her fight was in the intro against the tentacle thing off screen.
And we didn't really get to see it, so...
Yeah.
Which I really liked the intro at first, but then I was like, this is kind of running a little long. I kind of want to see the fight now.
Like, and it showed it a little bit.
It did at the end, which was fine, but... yeah, there were just a lot of, like, group moments that just kind of dragged a little bit. Also, it doesn't help that, like, the trailer ruined the whole bomb sequence one.
Oh, like the joke?
Who's got tape? Anybody got... Like, that would have been hilarious if I hadn't known that it was coming.
They did it. It was a little bit extended in the movie.
It was.
The funniest part was when he's like, "Did you ask Nebula?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah."
I just thought it was funny that you actually heard them, like him asking people. But and what was Drax's response? Do you mean Scotch tape? but you don't actually hear him say that. You just hear Peter talking to them, and so you can just kind of fill in what you think Drax would say. It's like, why would you ask me that question if you didn't have any? Which is funny.
I was thinking about this. Who do you think is more ripped? Chris Pratt or Captain America? Chris Evans.
Oh, Chris Evans.
Yeah?
Still, yeah.
I think Chris Evans is a little bit thinner, like he has a smaller waist. Chris Pratt...
Sure. He's got, like, wider hips.
He's a little... Yeah. But I do think... Because there's always a shirtless scene.
There always is. Has to be.
Well... I don't blame him.
For the ladies.
If I look like Chris Pratt or Chris Evans, I would not wear a shirt ever.
Seems like a poor choice.
Nah, I'm super tan from the waist up.
That's true.
What else? Who else was there? Rocket? What do you think about Rocket?
So I really liked...
He had his own scene.
I liked Rocket and Yondu's story the entire time.
What do you mean by that? As in the best?
Like their storyline. I don't know if I want to say the best. I'm still like processing the movie. We literally just watched it.
By all the time, you mean like from start to finish of their story? There was no like lulls?
No, I liked the story of like Yondu and Rocket being like the same. Being similar in the way that they feel like they were given away and they weren't loved and everything. And it kind of portrays in how they've like behaved to their family and everything. And then... and how like gruff Rocket is, like he insults people like literally the entire movie.
Brad
Cooper.
But
he kind of like hashed that out, if you know what I'm saying. Like we all kind of see why Rocket is so gruff and tumble, and we see Yondu, who has a very similar story, make the ultimate sacrifice and be good and come back from it. And I think it was just kind of cool to draw that connection, because I didn't draw that connection before, but I remember thinking when he was sitting on the chair, when he was like making fun of Taserface.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious. That was the name. I kept thinking, I was like, he should be captain. Like, Rocket could be captain of the ship.
Oh, yeah?
Just as easily as Yondu is. Like, they're both very gruff characters who aren't afraid to steal things or break the law, and just kind of witty. And, well, I guess Yondu's not witty, but I don't know. I drew the parallel before they made it, like, plainly obvious there's a connection, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what did you think of Rocket?
In
this movie?
Same old Rocket. I mean, it wasn't too much. It wasn't like, but I don't know if there's anything new either. It was just the right amount. I think he had his own solo scene where he fought off half of Yondu's men,
which was awesome.
Which was pretty cool. I don't know. I just think. I think I might have had this issue with the first Guardians, where I wish there was more action and less comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, because like when Rocket's doing his thing and he's using the grav lift to raise people up and lower them, like, yeah, that's funny, but then it keeps going on. I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Still good, but I'm like, okay, I've seen them go up and down a lot. I don't need to see it again. Maybe just more action.
Yeah, I mean, I think Guardians of the Galaxy kind of suffers from the first time you watch it, it's really funny.
Yeah.
Then the second and third time, it progressively gets less funny. Where there are some things that will be funny no matter what, but a lot of the gags and gotchas, once you know that they're there, it just kind of loses its flavor.
I wanted to mention that, actually. I wasn't excited to watch this movie before it happened.
You weren't?
I wasn't hyped about it. I'm like, I'm much more excited for Thor Ragnarok than I was about Guardians. I think Guardians is good. But I was on the way up here, and I'm like, I think it's time for me to watch another Marvel movie. Like, I got that itch.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I got to watch it, just because it feels that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't excited for it to be another Guardians movie, because I don't know if this movie necessarily did anything better or worse than the first one. It didn't. There wasn't any Infinity Stones.
Right.
So they didn't progress pretty much the
overall story.
Overall, except for, I assume, the Sovereign.
Yeah.
Will now be chasing the Guardians. Stan Lee had two good cameos.
He did.
Almost confirmed one of my favorite fan theories of Stan Lee.
And what's that? That he's a Celestial?
He's the Watcher. So the people he was talking to.
Sure. I was wondering who they were. They kind of look like the Green Lantern leader people. I don't know if you've seen what I'm talking about. They got like big heads. But obviously Green Lantern is not this universe. That's kind of what they look like to me.
They're big, bald people with giant heads and capes. And they're called the Watchers. Essentially, they can't interact with anything in the universe. They just watch everything happen.
Okay.
Every once in a while, they'll like
break the rules,
talk to a hero so they can change things. Sure. And there's a Watcher for each universe, I believe.
Okay.
And there's a theory going around for the longest time that Stan Lee is a Watcher, and that's why he's always in every single movie, because he's there watching things unfold. that explains his cameo. That's why he's always there. I'm like, that's almost a direct confirm of that.
Pretty much.
He's a Watcher.
Right. That's pretty good. I didn't know that.
So that's my favorite fan theory for him. There was a scene where Rocket and Yondu and the other guys were flying through on the way to Ego's planet through all these different dimensions, and I really wanted them to see the final battle from Doctor Strange, just like as one of the small planets for like a second. Just see Doctor Strange out there against Dormammu.
That would have been so cool.
I'm like, yes, so sick. They could have even just like used the same footage and just edited over it.
That's true.
Maybe, I bet they probably have to pay Benedict Cumberbatch for any use of his image.
Probably.
But I think that would
But it's Disney, so they have the money.
Yeah. There was that David Hasselhoff reference.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Or David Hasselhoff cameo, I guess.
Yeah. He's in it. Yes, at the end of the credits, and then also he actually transforms into it.
Yes.
Right before the final battle.
What did you think of the computer graphics in this movie? Because when Ego was rebuilding himself from nothing,
oh, that was really cool.
I'm like, this is insane.
Dude, so for the first thing, when they de-aged Kurt Russell, I could not tell the difference.
Yeah.
And that was amazing because every other time I've seen de-aging, like Rogue One recently did it with Carrie Fisher. I guess it wasn't her actual face, but they
got an actress that looked like her and then molded her face.
Exactly, which is interesting. But
it's in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
With Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
That looks really good too.
Yeah. Either way, this is the best I've ever seen it. I literally cannot tell the difference.
Yeah. I'm like, how'd they get footage from him?
Yeah, and I was like, there's gonna be a part where I'm gonna be able to tell. I watched like a hawk. I was like, I cannot tell.
Because he had so much hair that just distracted from everything?
Maybe.
Like,
it was the lustrous hair.
Shape of his head because he has so much hair.
Maybe that was it.
But yeah, I was like taken aback when he was reforming his body from nothing.
Yeah.
And they just kept it on him.
And he was like walking towards them.
Yeah, and you saw everything and like, what?
That was super cool.
That was insane.
That was really cool.
What other characters are in this movie? We haven't really talked about...
We haven't talked about Drax and Mantis at all.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of Mantis?
I don't know if there is a lot to think about Mantis. She didn't really do anything. She's part of the team now. She's not really a fighter. She's
more like a support character.
Yeah, but hardly any support.
Really, she can like make people feel different things and make them fall asleep.
She can make Ego fall asleep, and I guess Drax.
She did. She made him fall... Like, that was her entire purpose in that entire movie. Was to keep him asleep for that few minutes in the storyline so they could take care of the Sovereign.
Dude, what do you think about the cave of bones that Ego had?
As soon as she had the conversation with Drax where she stopped short, I was like, oh no.
But yeah, they telegraphed it from so far away.
I was like, Kurt Russell's evil. And so when they found it, I was like, yep, that confirms everything. And I thought that too earlier when he was like telling the story about how he went from like planet to planet to find life.
Yeah.
And he didn't say that Earth was the first planet he found. It showed like some other alien creature.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I was like, so does that mean he just went from planet to planet, knocked up a lady, and kept going? Like, that's what it sounded like to me.
If anybody could, it would be Kurt Russell.
Dude, that's true. So I was like, I don't know. I kind of expected him to have other lovers, and that was going to come up. Oh, yeah. I did not expect the brain tumor thing.
Yeah, that took me by surprise.
I was like, ooh, ouch.
They telegraphed him turning bad from the very beginning, and I really wish that they didn't have the Mantis scene where she said something, and it was really just kind of in the air, kind of a mystery, and then there was the final reveal. Because the whole time I'm like, he's obviously has to be the villain, like there's no way this is going to end well.
Right.
But on the other hand, like he hasn't done anything bad. He's a celestial, so that's kind of like a god. So maybe he's just inactive and he just watches things. Mm-hmm. But then Mantis started saying things like, okay, so it's now turning against him. I really wish it just like the first time we
just let it happen.
Yeah, like you see all the bones in the bottom.
Yeah,
and that's like Gamora and Nebula. Mm-hmm. And then while he's having the conversation with Peter Quill, then he says, "I gave your mom that tumor," and then you're like, "Holy crap!" Yeah. But instead, Mantis kind of planted the seed early on.
That's true.
But she really doesn't like. She doesn't do anything.
Not really.
She has to touch somebody in order to feel what they're feeling. Yeah. She's not a fighter.
Or to make them feel a certain thing. Yeah. She has to touch them, which really is not very useful.
And she's also super naive, so she's not like a secret agent where she can change her emotions and everything and like manage her way to get close to somebody.
She would be a really good spy.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's not like a spy. She's not a secret agent where she can get close to somebody and like seduce them and then change their feelings and deception them. Instead, she's super naive and doesn't know how to do anything. Yeah. And there's nobody on the team that can teach her how to do that. True. Unless they leave her with Black Widow. Right.
But even that is not going to happen. I mean, there's just... I don't know. I'm okay with them, like, expanding the Guardians to, like, new members. Mm-hmm. And I think that's fine. Because these are just going to... I think these will just continue to be minor characters. I think, like, the ship guy, Yondu ship guy who got the little whistle arrow thing. Like, I bet he'll be in the next one. But he won't be a big character. You know, just like I think Mantis will be in the next one, but she won't be a big character either. Might just be on the ship, you know.
To revisit our conversation from earlier.
Oh, boy.
I was thinking, Peter Quill, he's part Celestial. True. He's part Immortal. That completely changes the fight with Thanos. Like, now,
it definitely does.
The Avengers have something on their side to help them.
Assuming that you're right, which I don't think you are, but assuming that we are... Then yes, he would be a match for Thanos now, wouldn't he?
No, I'm not saying he'd be a match. I'm just saying now they aren't completely outnumbered. Completely overdone.
Outpowered. Yeah. Right.
I don't know what Nebula's going to do. Like, have you really seen her fight? You saw her fight Gamora a little bit in Guardians 1, but she didn't...
She fought a lot more in Guardians 1 than she did in this one.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of influence she's going to have on the Thanos fight, which is coming in Avengers Infinity War. Should be exciting. Do you think... Maybe this is a little too early for Infinity War, but do you think there's going to be just, like, too many people on screen?
I think people are going to die in Infinity Wars 1.
Who?
Captain America. Easy.
What do you mean easy?
Easy. I mean, I think there are going to be multiple deaths.
Why do you think easy? Just because he doesn't really have cool?
Contract.
He was online for 2 more, I think, after Infinity War.
Is it 2 more after Infinity War?
I think so.
Oh.
Robert Downey Jr. is not.
No, he's not.
But he wasn't for Civil War either, I don't think.
That's true.
Or
I mean,
Spider-Man
just because I guess that's not always the best barometer because just because you don't have a contract continuing doesn't mean you're not going to sign a new one.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, just because they sign you on for 4 doesn't mean that you're going to get 4.
That's true. Like Jyn Erso from Star Wars, she was signed on for a sequel because the original ending was that they all escaped, but then they were like, that doesn't make any sense, and then they killed them all.
Boring.
So, which I thought was good. It gave more emotional weight to the whole thing. Or else it would have been really stupid. Because then it was like, why haven't we seen these other Star Wars people?
Yeah.
That's a tangent, though. It has nothing to do with Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Except for, I'm always afraid that in the future they might be like...
Combine them?
They might be like, oh, the unknown regions of Star Wars is actually like...
Marvel?
What? I almost expected like some sort of reference to Star Wars in this as they were going through the
asteroids?
Well, the asteroids was a funny reference to it. Like, it was so Star Wars, like, to me. But,
well, it doesn't take much to be so Star Wars to you.
That's true. But when they were, like, warping through the 700 planets, I was like, what if they just, like, went by and you saw something from Star Wars? Because Disney owns it all. Yeah. Like, they literally could figure that out. That'd be so weird.
You really didn't see anything when they're hopping from planet to planet.
No.
From universe to universe. Which is why I was really hoping for a Doctor Strange cameo.
That would have been really cool.
So Guardians 2, we talked about Peter Quill's powers, but we didn't talk about him necessarily as a character. What do you think about him in the movie?
I mean, overall, his character learned that his family is the Guardians and not Kurt Russell. But I didn't really think at the beginning of the movie that he had that huge of a gaping hole in him that he didn't know his father. Like,
yeah,
it's brought up a couple times, but he didn't seem like that upset about it. And so I don't know. I thought he did an alright job. The trash panda was funny. That joke.
That was funny. That was a good one.
I don't know. I really don't feel like he drove the story. He was the main part of the story, right? He learned what his family really is, and that's fine. That's good.
There was a lot of action without him when he was talking to Russell.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell at the end. Ego. When he was like frozen by those light spears, there's a lot of stuff going on around him. That didn't happen.
That's true.
Or that he wasn't part of.
I kind of wish his fight scene with Ego was longer. Because I really felt like it was pretty short.
I didn't understand why he was fighting that human form of Ego anyway. Because it's just like a projection.
I think it was just to distract the brain from the bomb.
That's the only reason I could think of is like to distract him. But at the same time, why can't Ego just make 2 human parts? Or like...
Right.
The Ultron, I have a lot of parts. Now, I understand they did that a lot, and maybe that's the reason for not doing
Maybe
it.
it's just so hard to focus on one person or something. I don't know.
Why did they make it a normal size? Why not a huge size?
Right.
Because he makes the planet face.
That's true.
Like, he makes his face on the inside of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
When you see his face on the outside of the planet, that's Ego's true form that you see a lot in the comics.
Yeah.
So I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe he has an evil goatee. He has, like, the goatee and the thin mustache. I believe that's what Ego looks like, but I could be wrong.
I laughed at the Pac-Man, and you did not.
I did not. I was with my wife. I was sitting between you two.
Yeah.
And as it was forming...
It was yellow, and I was like, this is going to be weird.
2 whole seconds before it showed, she said Pac-Man. And while I was trying to figure out what she said, is exactly when it happened on screen. So I'm like, the shock's gone. She ruined it for me. But at the same time, I don't know.
I thought it was really funny. Because I did notice the color difference in the rocks. So I was like, they're just like changing the colors so that way it doesn't look like the same. You know? And then it was Pac-Man. Mm-hmm. Which is one of the things I love about this movie and Guardians of the Galaxy in general is that they just don't take themselves. They don't take the movie that super seriously.
Yeah.
Like everything can be taken from like a comedic standpoint. They joke a lot, and they don't like try to over explain things. Things are just are right. Like the whole planet of Egos look like the cover of a Kansas CD, like an album or like an old like 80s album or 70s
like
album.
Boston.
Yeah, like how colorful and like psychedelic it all looks.
Yeah.
Like that's totally the story. Like that's totally what this is. Like it's just a throwback to all these references and things. And I don't know. There's just so much in the movie that they don't feel. I don't feel like they had to explain it. Like Yondu's background. Like he just like kind of went through it and that was it.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of spoke about it and then all that mattered was his reaction to the situation around him. It didn't get bogged down in all the details. And it was just a really enjoyable movie. I don't think this is like the greatest movie Marvel's ever made, which, you know, I don't know which one I would choose for that. Probably Iron Man 1 because it started the whole thing. But
I think that's a valid choice.
Also, Avengers 1 is really good.
I think that's also a valid choice.
And I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but this one, like, it's just more of the same. If you like the characters, if you like the humor, if you like the style of Guardians of the Galaxy, then you're gonna like it. It didn't really push any of the Marvel story at all.
Yeah.
Like one little bit. It was a story about the characters from in terms of growth, right? Like in the first one, what is there? There is no like character growth. It's like characters, and then they get together as a team.
Oh.
This one is like what?
Let's go back to that conversation from before about Peter Quill and his celestialness.
Okay.
What happens when he grabbed the Infinity Stone?
He survived, but it took everyone else on the team to help him with it. And also, Ego was alive, so he was immortal at the time.
I definitely realized that when I was talking. I was hoping you would catch on to that. Next!
So anyways, I don't know. I would rate this... I kind of want to rate this in between other Marvel movies. Like, if I had a stack of Marvel movies in front of me, where would I put the stack?
Okay.
And I think...
You also have to give it the Underpaid Gamers rating.
That's true.
How much is it worth to you?
I thought it was worth the movie theater. Ticket price.
With concessions?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Just ticket, no concessions.
Yeah.
Dang.
It was enjoyable. I don't know. I didn't have a whole lot of hype going up to this movie, really. I mean, I there were like little flashes of excitement. Like when the trailer first dropped, I was like, yeah, okay. Then I just like forgot about it. And then like 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, that's coming out because I saw it on like an advertisement. I was like, oh, that's coming out this weekend. Turns out 2 weeks later, it actually comes out. True. So then I was like excited for like that day because I was like, let's go watch it tomorrow because it like came out of nowhere to me. And then I really didn't think about it until like I think Wednesday when one of my coworkers asked me if I wanted to go with them, and I said, oh, I'm probably going to go with Tony since we have a podcast about all this stuff.
Do you think some of it has to do with the fact that Chris Pratt isn't in so much now as he was like with Parks and Rec? They don't get to see him as much. Like he was in Passengers, which
was really good. Actually,
did you watch it?
I love that movie.
You liked it?
Yeah, that was like one of the. Yes,
wow.
I really liked it. I went and saw it with my girlfriend, and she loved it too. So
dude, let's talk about that sometime.
Did you not like it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
But we'll talk about it sometime. Maybe off air, and then we'll.
Okay. We'll decide if it's worth putting in an episode.
And then what was I going to say? He was in Jurassic World, but that was so long ago. So what's Chris Pratt really been in recently? Whereas he was all over the place when Guardians 1 came out with Parks and Rec, which was so popular, so famous. So you say movie ticket, no concessions.
Mm-hmm.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was a standard Marvel movie, and by that I mean a blockbuster by almost all terms.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the best. It's probably not the best action movie or the best... it's not the best Marvel movie. It's on par for like the best action movie type thing. That's not Marvel, if that makes sense. So like Marvel action movies have set the bar so high that this movie doesn't necessarily hit the bar. Like if it's a high jump, it doesn't necessarily get all the way there.
Okay.
But I do think that it was good. I definitely think it was worth ticket and concessions. I had a lot of fun watching it. I think it was definitely worth my time. I even had to drive an hour to get here.
That's true.
And I don't regret the fact that I watched it. I think it was fun. I think it was good. It's by far not the best, or by far not the worst Marvel movie. Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it a lot, just given the fact that, like, if you compare this to all other Marvel movies, it might fall into the middle there.
Yeah.
But if you compare this to all other movies of the year, it will probably be one of the top ones.
Oh, yeah.
Just comparatively.
Perhaps.
I mean...
I guess I don't know what's coming out the
Star
entire
Wars is
year.
coming out, but...
But that's
We
Marvel.
know your biases on that.
Right. We know the pre-bias. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be the top of the year, though.
Yeah. And not by sales, just by entertainment value. Like, I thought it was fun. There are some things, I don't think there was necessarily a joke that fell flat for me. There are just some jokes that I didn't think were funny that I might have thought were a little bit predictable. Mm-hmm. There were some visual gags that I thought were fun. Some things I wish I could have gotten from the movie. But all in all, I very much enjoyed it.
So, movie and popcorn? Ticket and popcorn?
Ticket and popcorn. That's like I always go with my wife. So that's 2 tickets and concessions.
Wow.
So
that escalated.
There you go.
Well, there you guys have it. That's our review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Now, this is nowhere near a complete review. We will revisit this topic in future episodes.
Once we know for sure that Quill has lost his powers.
Just in general. We will make references to this movie.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So definitely. Keep listening to future episodes for more quips about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh, yeah, the turd joke. That was my favorite.
That was a good one.
You're going to put your head down on your pillow, and you're going to feel a squishy thing underneath, and you're going to look at it, and it's a turd. He's like, that's not that bad. You have small turds. He's like, not my turds. Drax's turds. And then Drax said, what was it? I'm enormously famous for my giant turds, and I just laughed so hard. That was a good one. All right. Either way, sorry, I totally interrupted your outro. Sorry.
Justin, you're a turd.
I am a turd.
Ha ha!
Yep.
Tweet us at Underpaid Gamers Podcast. You can email us at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram,
SoundCloud,
Twitch, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music. We have a website, underpaidgamers.com.
Yep.
I think that's it.
Yep.
Chances are we missed it.
Maybe. We're on a lot of things.
We try to stream every Tuesday. We've gotten more consistent at it.
Yeah.
But I always tweet out before we start the stream.
And sometimes we do surprise streaming, which we did this week.
Take it by surprise.
Yep. So that's that. Thanks for listening, you guys.
Tell us what you thought about Guardians Volume 2. Bye.